the future and planning and then executing the future, I am really excited about this next session that's going to close us out. We got 10 minutes left. We're going to close out, and then we're going to do 2 more raffles for $100 Amazon cards that you'll have to be around to get. So stick with us. And this is really fun because our next presenter, Christian McMahon, is on the board of directors for the Arc of California, also used to be staff for the Arc of California, working here and doing incredible work for the community as a whole. And Christian, he's done some really amazing kind of goal setting and achieving himself. And so we thought no better way to talk about, going from something Gabe was talking about, real big ideas, to just hearing about it, just hearing somebody's successful story in doing this. So here it is. Without further ado, I'm handing it over to you, Christian. Welcome, and so glad you're with us.
Thanks so much. It's lovely to be here. It's great to see you again. This is a really fun opportunity for me to get to talk a little bit about the travel that I've done. I think I put together a PowerPoint, which hopefully, oh good, you don't have to look at my giant face. I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience as a traveler. I'm more of my background. I'm a board member with the ARC, which is wonderful, and I'm really excited to be in this position. I'm also a writer. I've had a disability that's a chronic illness and mobility impairment since I was a year old, and I'm a member of the trans community. And for anybody with visual impairment, I'm a redhead person with a sort of new beard. So I am going to talk to you about travel and my writing about travel. So first, or skip to the next slide, please. But first, I have to answer the question. The world is a lot, and the challenges of disability are real. So why am I talking about travel at an advocacy conference? It seems a little, luxurious, I suppose. But I'm talking about it because in my life, it's the thing since I was a very young child that I always wanted to do. And the expectations that were put upon me as a person with a disability were always, they kind of fell into 2 camps when I was growing up. Either they were very limited, like nothing was expected, or the expectations were that I would achieve something that would fall in the category of normal that really wasn't actually accessible for me. And I wasn't necessarily interested in anyways. Like most of those expectations were about, they weren't centered on who I was as an actual person. Next slide. Also, and most importantly, we people with disabilities deserve nice things. I think that gets overlooked sometimes. And going to the next slide. What travel taught me more than anything else is that in this world, there is room for everybody. And I mean that both as all of us and also all of our different ways of being in the world are valid, and there's space for it, and it's wonderful. And now this slide, I did sort of a collage of pictures of myself in my various travels. And my disability tends to flux and ebb and flow, and sometimes I'm running around like a happy little biped, and sometimes I'm on my mobility scooter, tearing up the accessible trails. And so these pictures, you can see in one of them, I'm just sitting on a rock on a very beautiful mountain. Also, gravity is my worst enemy with my disability, so I love anything in water. So of course, one of my friends talked me into trying scuba diving. So that is actually maybe the easiest way for me to experience nature. And obviously, I feel like an astronaut. It's fairly breathtaking. Next slide, please. Now, this is a short video because it's great that I've traveled, but really what I want the audience to take away from this is that you can pursue your own joy, and it doesn't have to look like anybody else's. I think, honestly, the older I get, the less I believe that normal exists. I don't think that's true for anybody. So here is a super sped up video of me setting up my entire camp setup. Because I think people think camping is something that involves, a tent and you have to be able to get on and off the ground, which I can't do, and set up all this complicated gear. And you'll see that, maybe play it one more time while I talk over it again. But essentially, after years of practice, like what works best for me, because my car is taller, is to just sleep in the back of the car. And I do get fatigued, and I can't really reach the ground. So setting up a tent and getting in and out of a tent is something that would be totally inaccessible to me. But I really love to be outdoors and to sleep outdoors and have the campfire and wake up to the birds. So this, after trial and error, is what I figured out actually makes sense for me. And it doesn't look like anybody else's setup, but it's absolutely perfect. And this video is obviously super sped up, but when it was shot, it was 10 minutes. And you'll see my friend runs over and helped me out a little bit. But really, that was probably 3 of the 10 minutes. And we were just talking about what we're going to make for dinner. And she was making fun of my old camping mattress. Next slide, please. Another thing that I've learned in my travels is that you can't do anything alone. And as an outdoor writer, I think there's the myth of the rugged individual. And as a disabled person, we're supposed to be aiming for the goal of independence. And I don't know that that actually happens for anybody. I think that everything is better with other people, and we all need each other regardless of ability. And so this is just a small collage of me with different friends and family members, and every single person in these pictures has done 2 things while traveling with me. And the first is to encourage me to do something absolutely preposterous, like something that just nobody would ever see me and think, oh, you should totally, like, see if you can do this hike, or yeah, let's swim across that lake, or go scuba diving. Um, and also they've encouraged me to do that, and then they've also let me take the time to figure out how to do it, even if it's slow and awkward and it looks like I'm never going to figure it out. They have the patience and know me and know what I'm capable of, and then I'll ask for help. And then the second thing that every one of these people has done is to help me with stuff that just was a waste of my time and energy to be in charge of, like carrying things or, whatever. Next slide, please. So if I piqued any of your interest in getting outside, I know it's something that is a luxury for many people, but especially in the state of California, um, and in this country, there are ways to access, especially outdoor spaces, specifically for people with disabilities, that are discounted. And 2 of the things that have been crucial for me are the National Parks and Federal Recreation Lands Access Pass, which it's the top one, and I've just put pictures of mine so you can see how old and crummy they are, as proof that they truly are lifetime. I think I got that access passport at Yosemite when I was like 9 or something. And I've included links for how to get them. There's the national parks one and then the state parks one, and both. Oh, well, the national parks one I know offers free entrance to all national parks, and I think discounted camping at most parks. And the state pass also has a lot of different discounts, but it kind of varies from park to park. So you may have to do a little research. But each of them are lifetime, and there's a really small fee under $10 that you pay one time to get each of these. Next slide, please. Okay, so in conclusion, traveling just has brought me so much joy, and I believe strongly that people with disabilities contain so much joy and so much creativity that they don't necessarily have the opportunities to explore. And that is the thing that's really at the heart of my advocacy and my writing. Is I want to expand those opportunities, and I want other people with disabilities to really reach for the things that seem outlandish, um, because it's amazing what we can accomplish. when we just let go of all these expectations and go for the things that we really want and value. And it doesn't have to be camping and running around in the dirt, because that's not everybody's thing, but it's definitely my thing. And if it's yours, I hope I see you out there. And thank you so much for your time. It's wonderful to be with you today.
Gosh, I love that. I knew I would too.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Christian. When we were talking, it was like we had this future, and Christian is a published writer. Outdoor Magazine, is that what it was?
Outside Magazine, and I have something coming up in Lonely Planet as well.
And we're like, Christian has done it. He's like set this vision and goal, used supports, individuals, friends, and like done it. And it's just inspiring. We're like, we gotta put that part of day one when we're talking about our future. So
Thanks so much.
Christian, you rock. Thanks for joining us and really exemplifying what this conference is all about.
Well, thanks for your time. Hopefully we can run into each other sometime soon.
I know, right? In person.
Yeah.